sold my heart of gold after my silver soul. Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises, you know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now.
So I've been getting some really common questions coming through on Instagram, and I just wanted to share them. And this is part 2. So in part 1 I spoke about like exercise, digestion, I can't remember what else, other stuff. And this one I'm going to talk about like night eating, binging, my treatment. Another really common question I get is like, when will things stop? So when will like digestion improve or weight gain stop, bloating go, I don't know, eating behaviours, thoughts of food, weight redistribution. I've been in recovery over a year now, and I've gone past every weight target that's been set for me. Like my weight is over BMI 20, and more, honestly, I'm starting to think like your body really needs to be at its own healthy weight for these things to get better. I kind of think we need to be careful that we're not trying to like trick our recovery. I want to recover, but I still want to hold my body underweight. I mean things like trying to eat really consistently so you can improve your digestion, or like trying to challenge a food fear and face it repeatedly, or like eat really calcium rich foods so you can try and heal your bones, but you're still trying to stop your weight go beyond a certain point. And I don't think it works, because like your bones, for example, aren't going to heal whilst you're underweight. Your fears of food aren't going to go. Your digestion's not going to fix. Like I really think we do need to get to a healthy weight. A body's healthy weight, not a BMI chart healthy weight. It's kind of like the dream of eating disorder recovery, that you can like fix your head but still keep your body underweight. And it just doesn't work. It's like if I'm holding my body underweight, like my body's not getting the weight that it wants. It's not going to be able to function. It's just going to scream at me like, go and eat some freaking food. Like, you cannot overcome your cravings and your fears and still keep your body underweight, or still keep restricting your food. Like, you're having those cravings because you're restricting your food. Sorry, still got a cold. I know it's not the answer people want, but I really am starting to think it's being at your body's healthy weight that is so much a part of losing all of this eating disorder shit. Like one example for me is eating habits. When I was a teenager and I was quite severely underweight, my eating habits were fucking horrific. It was mortifying, so embarrassing. I couldn't eat around anybody. I would pull everything apart. My worst nightmare is like the thought of biting into a sandwich. Like I would have to eat it as bread, separate filling, separate filling, separate filling. Like everything was deconstructed and separate. But still I wasn't really gaining weight or making any progress, so it just never really got better. And then over the years, as my weight has gone up, like the behaviours have just completely gone on their own. I literally, that's all I can describe it as. I just don't care. I just don't need to do the behaviours. I don't even need to agonise over, oh my God, I need to challenge this, I need to overcome it. Like, it just goes. It kind of helped me to think, like, how long am I actually going to spend trying to get this like best of both worlds, like trying to suppress my weight but still function perfectly in life? Like, it just doesn't work. My body doesn't want to be underweight. It's got no fucking interest in being underweight. It's not going to leave me at peace. It's going to make me think about food all the time, crave food, prioritize food over everything. Like, it's not going to give a shit about socializing or what that person's talking to me about, because all my body wants is food. Food, 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 which is exactly what goes through my head. Right, I'm gonna go get some breakfast. Right. Still feel a little bit guilty about last night's dinner. Kind of got thoughts in my head like I need to miss something out of breakfast to make up for like the chips and the cheese and the kebab. Blah. opposite actions. Don't run back to my eating disorder for a quick fix to make me feel better. Like, break that cycle. It's kind of like my new little routine to sit outside for my breakfast and listen to a podcast. Normally with Beyonce, who's here. Oh, a little sneeze. Oh, you hear her sneezing.
The light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds jumping and I hear my name, grasping into life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start.
Right, eating in the night. I posted something about this on my Instagram recently and I got so many messages. I'll read you one now. Did you used to get midnight munchies, binges? I'm in recovery and I struggle with this and it really gets me down and throws me back. It has to be the hardest part. And I have experienced this as well. So I went through a stage with sleeping. A couple of things actually. I would get night sweats, which people have asked me about as well. That didn't last too long. And I would lie in bed either starving hungry physically or not even hungry but just thinking about food and craving food so badly. And I spoke to my psychologist and my dietitian about it when it happened, so I'm not a doctor myself, but I'll just share some of the things which helped me. So I think weight gain helped, not restricting in the day, or like obviously eating enough right before you go to bed. Even if I was hungry at 10 p.m, even if it was mental hunger, still having something, which was a huge fear for me because in my head I thought if I eat right before I go to bed, it's just going to stick to me overnight and like turn straight into fat. I guess doing it, like exposing myself, eating at 10 p.m, and then I guess realising with time, like actually I didn't wake up fat. I didn't balloon overnight, like what I was scared of didn't happen. And obviously I don't mean like fill up on like a big cup of tea or something before you go to bed. I mean like proper food. What's your body craving? It's not craving water to fill itself up. That's your mind. And then also what was really hard was actually honouring the night hunger. So when I was lying in bed obsessing about food, actually just getting up and eating, and not like getting up and smelling food or just like looking in cupboards or looking in the fridge or like having tiny teaspoons cutting like little slithers off bread or cake or something. It might be too noisy out here. No, I mean genuinely actually eating. My dietitian actually recommended that I get up and have cereal, but now I tend to have chocolate biscuits and a banana. So, I don't know, it's just what I crave in the night. I think it kind of comes back to that thing of like, we can't trick our body. If your body is hungry, either physically or mentally, it wants food. It doesn't want you to just open cupboards and stare at food or like have a tiny shitty little teaspoon of something. Like, it's hungry for a reason. And judging by how many messages I've gotten, it seems to be a fairly normal part of recovery to me. Like, I experienced it and it didn't last either. It did go away. I'm not sure how long, like maybe a few weeks, a couple of months, I can't remember. It's hard to say because I still sometimes get it now and I'll like wake up and have a couple of chocolate biscuits. But I don't think it's going to go away if you're ignoring it. Oh. Ruined it. It's really noisy out here, isn't it? I think the next big one is don't restrict the morning after, which I understand is so tempting. Like, I wanted to do it this morning because I felt guilty about what I'd eaten last night. You want to make up for the calories, but like, food is not to be balanced out over time. Your body was hungry for a reason. You wanted food for a reason. Even if it's not physical hunger, if you wanted to eat, that's for a reason. And if you restrict to make up for it, you're just going to end up like restrict, eat, restrict, eat. So like, it really helps me to wake up and think, break the cycle, which I know is so hard, but like night eating won't last forever, but you have to push through and not restrict. And like, if you do restrict for a quick fix, that's just you in that cycle, and you're not going to break the cycle by remaining in the cycle. Right, it is so noisy out here. I'm going to take it inside. Oh, sorry. Another quite common question I get asked is what kind of treatment I have. And I get CBT-E, which is Cognitive Behavioural Therapy Enhanced for eating disorders, and it's the best treatment I've ever had. My psychologist is incredible. It's very kind of behavioural based. She'd kind of set me homework each week and I'd go away and like challenge things and log and track things, and then we talk about it in the sessions. It focused on my weight as well, and for me, like gaining weight, normalizing eating, challenging my food fears. We also talked about like maintaining factors, things like emotions and perfectionism, like, yeah, just all the little bits and bobs that make up my eating disorder. It was kind of like tackling them. It's very, very now focused, like dealing with the thoughts and behaviors and what have you now, which was really good for me because you do get stuck in the now in an eating disorder, and put all those nows together and that's your life, and then your life's been an eating disorder. It's pretty much where everything I talk about comes from. All of this like opposite actions, break the cycle, think about the bigger picture, what do you value, what life do you want to live, what person do you want to be, who do you respect, like this is all the stuff my psychologist does with me. Pretty much everything I say has come into me from my psychologist. So yeah, CBT-E if anybody's interested, and I really can't recommend it enough. The final thing I was going to share is I've had a couple of comments recently about how much I've changed during my videos. And I'm not sharing this to be like, oh yay me, look how I've changed. But this will apply to other people as well. Like, I'm not unique in having changed through gaining weight and getting more freedom around food and what have you. So this girl's been watching back my videos from the last year. She said, you are less anxious, appear more relaxed, make more sense, seem much more self-confident just in the way you talk, brackets. Perhaps you just have more clarity and assertiveness in your thinking and what you're saying. How you come across now versus a year ago is so different in such a good way. Dare I say it, but you seem normaler, a fun girl people would want to hang out with. Only comparing the videos do I realise how much eating disorders fuck up how we think and talk and act, and that has a huge impact on how others see us and treat us. Blah, blah, blah. It's a lovely message, so thank you. And I didn't think I would have changed at all, because I used to put so much effort into appearing okay and having a smile on my face and always being fine. I always tried to hide my eating disorder. I didn't want people to know that I was ill or struggling or anything other than perfect and on top of everything. So it's kind of a surprise to me to hear that you can actually see a change. I thought the change was only internal. Like, I can feel that life takes so much less effort now. I don't need to force a smile. I don't need to pretend I'm interested in what people are talking to me about. I don't need to put all my effort into pretending I'm okay and that I'm present, like, because I just can be. So yeah, it's funny. I thought it was just like an internal change. Like, I do the same stuff. It just takes less effort now. It comes more naturally to me, but I guess it's nice to hear that you can see an external improvement as well. So yeah, thanks for the message. So hopefully it's helpful to share these common questions that I get through Instagram. I think I'm now going to go out and lie in the sun and read my book, try and clear my cold. Okay, lots of love to everybody and speak to you soon.